This time we're looking at electric guitars, and they can be notoriously hard to get right in a mix, and that's possibly because a lot of people are using virtual instruments these days. In terms, they're using modelling amps, they're using external stuff like pods and stuff like that, or they're using internal stuff. And so what you often find though is that when you try and sit them into mixes, they're quite scratchy. And so the one thing I do a lot with guitars is I put a lot of mid-range back into them, and to replicate how a 1x12 or a 2x12 guitar cab would sound. So they're not very hi-fi, and often what happens is when we try and use plugins to create guitar sounds that sound too hi-fi. So what I'm doing here a lot is I'm kind of really dirtying them up a bit and making them far more grungy than I am making them more hi-fi. Let me just go through each part of the track. There's 3 guitars in this. There's a motif guitar at the start. Let me just play that from here. There's the original. Not bad, well recorded. First thing I'm doing is going to saturation knob and pushing quite a lot of saturation to put some body in. You can hear some breakup coming in there. You can try the different. Now in high, that should give me. It's really rounding that out now. Then I'm going into the blue cat, and furthermore, now rolling a lot of the top end off to get rid of the hi-fi sound. And the bottom end as well, might put a little more back in. And finally I'm using the Blue Cat chorus. And what the chorus does is that lovely kind of Andy Summers guitar sound, or Floyd and people like that. And what we've got is a little bit of delay, that's the depth of the chorus. Now I don't want it to be too extreme like that. Just a tiny bit, and then the rate is the time it takes for it to go round. So basically how a chorus works, it takes a delay and then it modulates that delay to create that chorusing effect. So basically it's speeding up and slowing down a delay time slightly and making variations with the depth as well. And that's the speed at which it does it. Now you can actually create kind of, if in some cases, a phaser or a flanger effect by pulling the delay time right down, the depth right up, and then the rate. But what I want is just something nice and subtle, not too extreme. Just give it a bit of added sort of interest. Let's hear it in the track. There's the original. It's a bit nondescript, so putting all this on. Particularly nice on those long notes. And the 80s and 90s chorus was all over everything. It was the biggest fashionable thing in guitars, and these days it's not used as much. So using it now and again sparingly can create some really nice sounds. So the other 2 guitars, I've got a pair of stereo guitars basically that come in later on in the pop track. So let me play them. And if the darkness and again you can hear very hi-fi, quite scratchy as well. And now, as you can hear, I've used that to create a much more kind of coming through a guitar cab. Lots of mid in there, about 1K. Lots of top end gone, some bottom end out. That kind of wow sound now rather than that kind of hi-fi sound. On the second one we've got this sound. Saturation knob again. You can hear the difference there. All that mid-range in there now. There's the original. Put them together. Take it back out again. So you're at the track.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for wanting me. And I promise to love you faithfully.
And again, they're now sitting in the track, and they sit much better. They're not poking up. When they had all the EQ off them, you could hear them straight away. They're there in the track.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for having me.
And what I want to use them as is a layer.
Thank you.
Now what I'm also doing as well is I've now sent all my 3 guitars to a subgroup here, and that's now controlling all 3 guitars.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for having me.
Now I can get my guitars now in the mix how I want them.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for having me. Thank you for wanting me. And I promise.
And again, you can hear when I take them out, they disappear, but actually they're not as apparent in the mix when they're in. The other thing I've got as well is I've got a compressor on all those guitars just to level them a bit.
Thank you for loving.
Not a lot again.
Thank you for having.
Very high ratio, but the threshold isn't really touching them because I don't want to squash them down again.
Thank you for love.
It's hardly tickling it.
Thank you for loving. Thank you for having me.
About 1 or 2 dB of decrease of that.
Thank you for loving.
Let's take out those effects again.
Thank you for wanting me. And I promise to love you faithfully, to hold you tender.
Put a bit more back in there.
Thank you for loving me. Could have imagined.
So there we go, electric guitars using some Black Cat stuff, F expansion again, and also the saturation knob. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next session.